This time, we're going to be serious about the Oblivion Remaster. Uh, just a couple things I want to start this off with is that the first time I played this game was almost 20 years ago. The original release, and I remember playing it on my HP laptop. I turned it on for the first time. I heard that iconic music from this title screen, and it turned my laptop into an easy bake oven. It stuttered and lagged. I mean, if I was lucky, I got 30 FPS on that thing, and I had the draw distance so low that I recall in the arena, I could not even see the enemy until they were about within striking range. So it's been a while. Now, I played it since, right? I played Oblivion off and on, all the way up until Skyrim came out. But that's how old this game is. They're remastering a 20-year-old game, which nowadays is not outside the question. With remasters like the Mass Effect trilogy, the Final Fantasy remake, and even upcoming ones like Gothic, it's coming up from what I understand later on this year. Remakes and remasters have kind of been a trend, and it's a trend that I'm not mad at. Oblivion being one of them. Now, there's kind of a lot I want to cover with this remaster. First of all, I'm going to give you my rating off the bat, and that is a Bethesda out of 10. For the uninitiated, a Bethesda out of 10 has... the ceiling is incredibly high on what it can become, okay? But the initial release is buggy, unoptimized, and needs a lot of work. However, underneath all the grime and all that is a polished diamond. So, for transparency, I played up until Joffrey makes you a member of the Blade, or proposes that you can be a member of the Blade. And though I played this a metric ton when it first came out, again all the way up until the Skyrim release, I never actually beat it. And that was usually because my save file got corrupted before I could beat it. Either that was through updates or a hard drive crash or something else. I never beat the freaking main story. So with that said, I want to only talk about the remastered portions. So things like the story, the music, and the foundation of the game, I'm not going to touch on because it's a remaster, right? I think I won't say it's unfair, but it's kind of beyond the scope of this review to talk about Oblivion as a game on its own, right? If you didn't like the original Oblivion, you're not going to like this one. I'll tell you that right off the bat. So, I want to break this down into 3 sections, starting from the worst to the best portions of the remaster. And unfortunately, the first section here is the performance. My Ryzen CPU was at a simmering 80 degrees Celsius while playing this game. And I know it's because I was capturing footage using OBS while doing so, but it also had to do with the built-in AI stuff they were using, the frame generation, which is pretty disappointing for a 20-year-old game. Even when they revamped it and all that, it's severely unoptimized. There's no way getting around that. This game is not optimized. They could have done a much better job with that. And example being that when I run Cyberpunk and I capture footage with OBS, I never get anywhere near 80 degrees, and I have a water cooler in my machine. I clean it out regularly, the vents and all that. There's no reason that my CPU should be at 80 Celsius while capturing footage for this game. I don't know if they're gonna patch it officially, but I know it's going to get fixed at some point. I also used I think it was an optimization mod from Nexus. I downloaded a mod here on Nexus called Ultimate Engine Tweaks, Anti-Stutters, Lower Latency, and that helped me out a bit. So for now, if you plan on getting Oblivion Remastered, just know you're gonna have to get involved with the performance in the settings and tweak it and download mods to help you with that. Definitely get that optimization mod that I just talked about. And I even saw where they had some optimization I settings for certain cards. Unfortunately, I didn't see one for mine, but I didn't end up needing it. So just keep that in mind. It's put some when you boot it up and you get out the dungeon in that overworld, because that's where you're really going to experience all that hardship with the performance. Take the time, take about 30 minutes, tweak the settings, find what works for your system, go to Nexus, download optimization mods, and if they have them, an optimization for your graphics card. With performance out the way, the next thing I want to get to is graphics. Second thing on the list here, the middle of the road in terms of what they got right with this remaster. The game looks good. I wouldn't say it looks as good as modern titles, not by a long shot. You can tell that it's an older engine. It has sort of like an indie game vibe, if you know what I mean. Some things are off, but I'm a simple man. It's good. The graphics are good. However, the reason I've placed it dead center on things that I like about Oblivion Remaster, and what I don't like, is because of the the character models. Character models, they're Oblivion. How about that? They look Oblivion. They have this uncanny look about them that was even profound in the original version 20 years ago. But I have a lot of hopes in that department for when it comes to modders and what they're going to do with it. Because, what they did with Skyrim has been freaking nuts. That all they've done there with the graphical fidelity and character models blows my mind. And let's not forget, Skyrim is a 14-year-old game. So it took them 5 or 6 years to come out with the next Elder Scrolls after Oblivion. So I think modders, once they get a hold of this and figure it out and given the tools, they're gonna go buck wild. They'll probably be able to import many of the old mods into Oblivion, taking the graphical portion of the game and just go into the stratosphere. I haven't checked the original Oblivion, but I wouldn't be surprised if they have mods in there that look better than the remaster as far as like graphical fidelity. Anyways, outside the character models and character creation, because I'm gonna tell you what, you're gonna have a hard time getting your character to look kind of the way you want to and kind of cool. You go see in my playthrough, I like red guards in Elder Scrolls, especially in Oblivion, because of the adrenaline rush. It works for far better than it does in Skyrim. That ability is the bomb.com, if I may. So I play Redguard just like how I did way back when. I could not get my Redguard to look right. I was going for maybe like a God of War 1 Kratos, before he got the ashes on him, that sort of look. I can do it. There's an uncanniness about him that I just can't get away from. But every character model in the game has that uncanniness. Less so in the female models that I've noticed, but in the male models, you can't get away with it. It's something about the eyes, I think. And when the remaster, they added these lines in the face that kind of they're stuck there with whatever race you choose. So. Oh well, it was either that or a dark elf, and I picked the red guard, which I think unfortunately probably has the worst default looks. It's really hard to mold a red guard to look cool. So the dark elf ones I saw were They were better, but not the best. They were okay. Anyways, enough of character models. Where this game shines, the rock star in terms of the graphics in the remake is easily textures, scenery, structures, terrain, and atmosphere. They did a fantastic job with these things. I'll see if I can maybe find a clip in where I'm kind of just looking around. It looks nice, especially with the Oblivion gates. Once I entered the Oblivion gate, no, even before I entered the Oblivion gate, I was immersed. Now, to be fair, I still remember to this day playing Oblivion and coming to that first Oblivion gate, where the town, it's in front of the gate and the town is destroyed and you're going there trying to find the Emperor's son. I still remember that. I still remember my first playthrough that. I remember just it being the coolest thing. I got the same feeling when I played it this time around in the remaster. So I have to say, they nailed the atmosphere. And the terrain and all that, being the foliage and everything, the atmosphere is great. It's fantastic. It's a joy to kind of walk around and look at the trees and the grass, the rivers, the cities off in the distance. Now that I can actually do it. In the original, it was all fogged. So maybe I'm a bit biased in that front. Cause now I have a 3090 and I'm not on a friggin' potato laptop. But anyways, they nailed it. Just as good as it was, if not better. It's just the character models that really need work. All right, gameplay. Gameplay is last on my list, and now I want to start with the bad with the gameplay. Because remember when I said Bethesda out of 10? The gameplay is a prime example of Bethesda out of 10. And that is because of the difficulty slider. Alright? That difficulty slider is broken. On, I believe it's called Adept, the basic difficulty, normal difficulty, the default difficulty, the game's a joke. Alright? You blow through anything and everything. Now, take that little slider, tick it one time to the right, all of a sudden, every single fight is because you owe them money. Oh my gosh. You will be skirting, you'll be running, you'll be cheesing the AI because I guess it's probably a decent time to talk about this now. The AI is kind of bad. The AI will easily get stuck. You can at times use the terrain to trap them, and they'll just watch you while you pump them full of arrows, or just pop them in the nose 100 times on the higher difficulties. And difficulty is one of those things in the game where it requires a load of play testing to balance the immersion and challenge, because the difficulty is a part of the storytelling. If you're supposed to be, someone who is weak or learning in a world that's treacherous, full of experienced people, and you're trying to make your way where like, let's say most people don't make it to adulthood, a brutal difficulty will immerse you, and you'll find ways around things as you get stronger to fight these people head on. And one of the best games I've ever played that I believe done immersive difficulty well is Kingdom Come Deliverance 1. I haven't played the second one yet. I have it. I just haven't played it yet. It's on my list of things to do. I kind of wanted to make a video about it. It's probably too late now. Anyways, the difficulty in that is very immersive because you're supposed to begin as someone who doesn't know how to fight. And when you get to the point where you're fighting another trained warrior, mano-a-mano, it feels rewarding. The difficulty in Oblivion Remastered does not feel like that. It feels like the game is saying one thing and it's showing you another. A wolf run up on you, and you will be pumping it full of arrows. You'll be skirting it. No, hell, a rat. A rat. You'll be pumping full of arrows, skirting, jumping around, and it doesn't get better. It does not get better. Now, I downloaded a mod called Difficulty Slider Fixed. Now, if you do end up playing this game, do yourself a favor, download this mod. As you can see here, it fixes some of the drastic, insane spikes in the slider, where you just go from, steamrolling the whole game to something that's immersive. Now, I downloaded this one right here, the 2.5 version. I thought that'd be a good balance. It feels good. It feels extremely challenging. However, I could see where more min-max players might need the 3x version, and I actually might end up with that myself. But get this mod. Download this mod. Put it on master for about 2 seconds, or even the one below that, which is one above normal. Then I promise you'll instantly come here, download this mod, and fix the difficulty. But it's a fact of life. If you've played Bethesda games in the past, you know how it is. As of right now, this is probably a must. It is a must. Now, outside of that, the difficulty that is, which, remind you, they did no play testing for at all. The game's combat, the core of it, actually aged pretty friggin' well. Maybe I have to say even like fine wine. It's not a difficult or complex combat system, but like many of the greats, the combat system does reward you with when you use your own creativity to overcome a combat scenario. I played as a red guard sort of brawler, a versatile unarmed fighter. I picked skills that help me stay mobile, to move faster, keep my stamina up, so I don't have to worry about that, because stamina does play a big part in combat. And even in the tutorial, when I went down to the sewers solo, and you faced that goblin, and I was jumping across the little chasm there, using the terrain to my advantage because the goblin couldn't keep up or jump over it, it felt good. I found creative ways to take down the goblin, even though I was using the old difficulty. I used a combination of bows and melee to take him out. It felt good. I imagine other builds will feel the same way, where you can use your creativity to overcome situations. Because even now, after making this build, I have regrets. The character creation, in terms of when you select your skills, does a great job at giving you enough options to make a unique playstyle, but not too many where you can't master of none it. You know what I mean? Or master of all. Either or, really. Now, you can later on go in and kind of rank everything else up. Though, it really does reward you for picking those skills in the beginning, because they're easier to rank. They're going to outshine your other skills by far. So even now, I'm thinking back, man, it would have actually been cool to make like a Witcher build, like a two-handed alchemy build. So they did something right in that sense, because I read a little bit, and they tweaked the combat, not the combat itself, but the way certain skills behave, like unarmed, for example, which was absolute trash in the original. One of the big reasons why I tried it. But it feels good. Unarmed feels good, even though simple. it does feel good still. Because with unarmed, I'll get unarmed or disarming strike after you. What was it? Journeyman unarmed? I don't remember the actual title, but I'll disarm opponents and I'll pick up their weapon and just smack them and force them to fight like a man, like I am, unarmed, which doesn't work against Beast. So, and with my build, I do spectacularly well against humanoid opponents. But animals, monsters, things like that, I have a more difficult time. I usually fall back to a bow, kind of pepper them down a little bit, and then go in and just, smack them. For more difficult opponents, that is. So all in all, should you buy Oblivion Remastered? This is hard for me to say. The original Oblivion on GOG being $20, DRM-free platform. I'm not sponsored by GOG or anything like that, but I'm a big advocate for GOG. I do not like buying games on Steam because you're basically renting a license, and GOG, I can own them, right? On Steam, it is a $50 game. As is, it is not a $50 game. I'd say it's, for being the effort they put into this remaster, it's a $20 game. Maybe 30. I could even see some arguments for 40, but that 50, look, to level with you, this will be worth $50, and this is just kind of a general estimate, but 6 months to a year from now, when all the mods are figured out, okay, I had the absolute best time with Oblivion because of mods. Base Oblivion was okay. It was memorable. They did some things really good, don't get me wrong. But I remember adding Conan the Barbarian music to the playlist, made the immersion 10 times better. I remember adding some mod pack that I added so many immersive armors and weapons to the game. Every dungeon, I was discovering something new. But, anyways, guys, I'm gonna cap this off with the best. This is I rate this an explicitly Bethesda out of 10. Okay, go back to my original definition of that. Almost unlimited potential. The potential in this is remarkable. With 20 years of mod. Anyways, guys, that's my review of Oblivion Remaster. You take care, and until the next time we're serious about something, take care. I said that twice, didn't I? Anyways, until the next video.
Fascinating, you? Your personality.